What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome in to another edition of Dave. I'm just gonna fucking say it. Bing bong. But welcome into an edition of the Fast Break. This is what I've been thinking. Why don't we just go back to our roots? We do a weekly show about the NBA. Fuck it, it's the Fast Break. Like we were doing, I thought about this today, driving home from work. Every Monday we just do the Fast Break. That's what we do. We do the Fast Break every Monday. Dave's like, my only thought process was, but the Fast Break had Sean, and we miss Sean. I believe you can say whatever you want, Dave. Like, we're not ESPN. I don't have any locked on. What? Yep, that's what I thought it was. Nice. So go check out Locked On White Sox. Mm-hmm. I will say, and I told this to Jake, I do wish Sean all the best of luck because the thing, not only, it's not like even that side of it. It's just like first off, they got nothing to do right now. They're locked out. The players are literally locked out. They can't do anything. But also, I know this from experience because I used to do a lockdown podcast. It's very different than like the podcasting we do or the podcasting I listen to. It's very structured. And I was more of like hey man, they can't hear you. You're on. Yeah, you're on.
No, I'm watching me over there and they can't hear me.
Well, they can hear you now then. I clicked it off and clicked it on again. I see the levels. The levels are going beep, 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 beep. The levels are going. King E, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear Dave?
I trust.
Dave's like, I don't trust your levels anymore.
I'm just waiting for the delay to go away now.
Levels.
I don't trust you.
Well, I see the levels. They go bing, 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 bing whenever you talk. I clicked them off. I clicked it on again.
There we go. Now I'm good.
Yeah, I told you. Right?
Yeah, so they missed my entire thing.
I mean, I was every
week, Ricky. Every week's like,
congratulations.
I want to hear it.
Hey, last week we did not have this issue. Last week
every other week, Ricky forgets to unmute Dave.
I mean, we need a production guy. We
could.
For like when it was you and Jake, it was easy. Like I was the production guy. All I had to focus on was click the button. And it was one button, not two button. But yeah,
shout out my congratulations to Sean Anderson, Locked On White Sox. Check it out if you enjoy Sean or the White Sox. It's a boring ass sport. It's a lot of talking about a game that takes very long and has entirely too many games throughout the regular season. But I wish him the best of luck.
It's a good sport to go to, though.
Yeah, it's great.
I would say that's my number one sport to actually go to an event of.
I agree. I think baseball is one of those fun. Like I could lose an afternoon out there watching a game.
Like you and I going to an Angels game. I don't even remember who they played. It was
a great time.
Don't remember who they played, Dave. I just remember the stadium stood still when Mike Trout went.
That man can hit dingers.
He didn't even hit a dinger, but the whole stadium's like.
He had a long fly. that went foul, and I will never because the whole stadium's.
Is it gone? Is it gone?
Yep.
But. Dave,
anyway.
It's my favorite time of the year. You want to know why? Yeah. It's trade talk time, baby. We talking trades. We talking speculation. This is what I love. Also, we got a new addition, Dave. I don't know if you saw it in the Discord.
Pink Ranger helmet?
It's up here. I made a little purchase over the weekend.
Yeah.
That's the spot I decided to put it in. And I was I hope it shows up on camera, and it does.
I like it.
So now I got the boyfriend, girlfriend behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Green Ranger. I got the Pink Ranger. Now I just need all the helmets, Dave. I need all of them.
I like them all.
I agree. Create the set. But before Dave and I get started, we're talking mainly Ben Simmons.
6 minutes in, we're not going to talk basketball for a while.
Here's the thing. This is if you come into an MVP podcast, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get a little bit of bullshit. You're going to get a little bit of shooting the shit at the front, and then eventually we get into the basketball.
Yeah,
we always
stick it out. It's worth your time.
We find our way. But before we get into everything, make sure to join the Discord if you're not in it already. It is free. You can join that community down below. It's the greatest community in the universe. If you want to support us, check out patreon.com/MVPvids, or you can become a channel member today. And last but not least, if you're not subscribed, hit that sub button, that like button, that notification bell to stay tuned with everything going on with MVP. But Dave, before we get into the main substance of the show, you had brought up that you want to kind of talk a little bit about how COVID sucks. Like, that's basically it. COVID sucks, and it's taking away our happiness.
Yeah, well, I mean, in shocking news to absolutely no one, new variation COVID hits, and all of a sudden you just see numbers spiking everywhere. We see no players. First, I think it really hit college a lot. It hit a couple teams in the NBA, specifically the 76ers, I know, have been heavily affected by COVID, to name one team. Most notably because their biggest fan complains most often in our Discord. Jake, shout out. You can't shut the fuck up about how all your teams are unlucky. You ever think it's just you? I'm just saying, just think about it. Maybe you're the common factor there. But now, obviously, we have the Hornets are without like 4 starters. Both of their point guards are out. Gordon Hayward is playing point guard for them today as they compete against the Sixers themselves. But we're going to wait and see as they play more teams. Who else on those opposing teams goes out? On the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, now taking his leave. We came off of a couple people on our team already had it. So it's just like, it's a revolving door. It's so this is so easy to catch, and I feel like we're gonna hit that point like where the NBA kind of clamps back down on how much people can go outside of their own like space as far as teams go.
You stay at the hotel, and you are at the hotel.
If it's an away game, I think that they're gonna try to put the clamps on because it's such an easy thing to spread, and right now there's not enough restrictions in place where people or not enough people respecting the restrictions or taking it seriously. So it's like, it's shit. It's shit. And I know the NBA doesn't want to lose money to games being canceled. So they're going to make teams play with absolutely crap rosters. They don't care about that. But I think that every basketball fan wants playoffs to happen. So I think that like they might go in, not a bubble. It won't be a Mickey Mouse, playoff, but it will be like a hardcore lockdown of a playoff bracket. I feel like you're not going to leave the gym or your hotel, and that's it.
Well, like we saw last year.
Right? It's going to be, I think it's going to be more strict than last year.
Okay. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, what else do you want them to do? Also, side note with the whole Jake thing that you brought up, it's funny you say that because his favorite football team today lost to one of the worst teams in the Premier League. 12th on the table, but Everton did beat Arsenal today. Sorry, Jake, for putting salt into that wound. But, like, yeah, it's just like, this is something we're going to have to deal with. Ever since Omnicron, Megatron, Optimus Prime, whatever you want to call it, Kamehameha, whatever variant it is these days. I mean, this is something, like, is it weird that only college basketball has been, like, we haven't had any, and, like, college football and that, have we only not heard anything about that because now we're getting into bowl season, and it's just like, none of these players play anyways.
I mean, part of it's time of year, part of it is the new virus, to be fair. So, like, obviously now that we're in this for, like, going on 2 full years, we kind of have an expectation of, we know when it's going to spike, and post-Thanksgiving it's going to spike because everybody gets together and everybody doesn't care. And then, obviously, with the new variation, it's like, okay, fuck, like, every team's going to have a different level of hurt by that. So, I just think that it's seasonal right now. We're seeing the spikes because of both of those things combined. I'm not a scientist. Why are we asking me these questions?
I didn't expect that in-depth of an answer. I just expected...
Look, man.
I expected COVID bad, okay?
COVID is bad, okay? College basketball, game canceled last night. There's a forfeit. Washington, UCLA should have been a great matchup. Didn't get to see it.
Yeah, would have been a great matchup or a blowout by UCLA?
I want to watch UCLA play basketball.
They've got see them dominate.
They have 3 players who could go to the NBA draft this year. I would like to see them all play. That's all I'm saying.
Is it Johnny Juzang, Tiger, and I'm trying to think of who the third one is, because Tiger's the point guard with the hair. He's got like the unique hairstyle.
I don't know the nickname. That's why it's Jacquez, and then Peyton Willis.
Okay, that's who it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was just like, I saw that game and I was like, Washington escaped a beatdown.
Yeah, probably
the biggest beatdown, but. Dave, the biggest story we're talking about today, the only story we're talking about today, is Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Is he going to be traded? It's the Ben Simmons watch. We've been on it forever, since the beginning of the year, since Ben Simmons is like, I'm not going to play basketball this year. But there has been news coming out. This is from The Athletic and Shams, and also Sam Amick, provided some insight into the matter of this story yesterday where they said, and I quote, Damian Lillard, intends to give the Trailblazers organization time to find its next leader of basketball operations. But beyond the front office component, the face of the franchise still wants significant changes to the roster. Multiple sources have told The Athletic that Lillard would like to play with Philadelphia Sixers three-time All-Star Ben Simmons. Is CJ McCollum going to be a Philadelphia 76er, Dave? Is a CJ for Ben trade imminent?
I mean, we've been calling for it for months. I'm kind of shocked it hasn't happened yet. As Jake would always say, well, we didn't expect anything to happen until close to the trade deadline, at least after the mid-December line where all recently signed players can be traded. And I understand that. And again, there's no real harm right now to waiting because the Sixers are still in the middle of the pack as far as the playoffs are concerned. But you got to see that the clock is ticking, and this is prime Joel Embiid, healthy, quote unquote. He's coming off COVID, an extreme case. He came back to an amazing game and then promptly had nothing left for the next two. So like your body will take some time to get back. But a healthy Ben Simmons is something that would probably put this team up to the top of the Eastern Conference during the regular season, but that's not happening. So it's like, as long as they have healthy Joe, I feel like they should go for a push for healthy B tier. Like get Joe some help out there. You can't keep waiting forever. I think that Ben Simmons is not gonna, magically show up and play basketball one day for the Sixers and everything's gonna be hunky dory. I feel like they are being forced to make a move, and Morey doesn't want to. He prefers to wait it out. He thinks that the longer I wait, there's no problem. Honestly, there will only be a problem once we kind of get to that playoff time, to be fair. Like, Ben's pretty quiet. He's not making too many statements. He went out and liked a comment that was that Dame wants to play with him. That's the most that he's going to go out there and do. So he's not like a terrible teammate or anything, like, bringing down the franchise. But really, it's just the Sixers are just kind of in this holding pattern of we don't have to make a move because we're still competing. The second they stop competing, then it's a problem.
Well, and I think the thing is, like, it's not that Ben Simmons is a terrible team. Like, a couple things are from what you just said. First off, I'll pick off the last one. It's not that Ben's a terrible teammate. It's that I have already seen the past few years that Ben and Joe are not going to work. You are not going to win a title with Ben and Joe being your one and being your two, because I'm not in the locker room. I'm not there every day. But from what I've inferred as a fan is that I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of like a, hey, we respect one another. It's not like we hate each other, but I don't want you on this team. I know that I'm not going to win with you. We just don't mesh together. And if there's like that kind of mutual kind of, hey, this ain't going to work out here. And then it's like the 76ers, you said, like, my first thought is by the trade deadline, it's all going to come down to which team is more desperate. Is it going to be the Sixers or is it going to be the Blazers? Because there's an interesting thing that you got to throw in here. The Sixers were expected to be a team, and I know that you can say without Ben that they're not supposed to be at the top of the conference. With Ben, they are. Without Ben, they're not. But, like, 76ers at 9th right now? That's a lot lower than a lot of people had them. A lot of people did not have them in the play-in tournament. I know it's still early. Trailblazers,
it's like 2 games.
Trailblazers sitting around that same area, but like no one would be surprised that the Trailblazers are in the play-in tournament right now, where the 76ers, everyone's like, holy shit, like, should we worry about this team if a trade doesn't get done or if Ben Simmons doesn't play? Because I don't think he's going to play, Dave. I think he's done. He's done in Philly.
Yeah, I agree that he's probably done in Philly. I mean, the problem is that, like we mentioned earlier with COVID, like, this team has played with basically a bunch of backup players and role players and just absolutely blew out expectations. They played so well. Doc Rivers is a phenomenal regular season coach, and I hope, 76ers would like to give him an extension.
I see that smirk, Dave.
I think he's deserved an extension. I think that the 76ers should give Doc probably like a 5-year deal. He's such a great regular season coach. What is there to not love about that? Now, the problem is...
You need the players to execute in the playoffs, right?
It's all on the players.
You can't put it all on the coach. Like, dude. Joel Embiid's got to block Kawhi Leonard, Dave. He's got to block
I straight
Kawhi
up love the RDC World shit where he's like, he does the impressions post game, and he's like, Kawhi, you suck. Paul George, you suck. It was just down the road for him on the Clippers, and then he went over to the Sixers. Same thing. It was just same thing. And it was beautiful. And I think that Doc, we all know his limitations in the playoffs. But the other thing is, we all know Ben Simmons' limitations in the playoffs too.
Yep.
He's
and
a liability.
His limitations from beyond the 3-point mark.
Just shooting the ball in general.
Yeah.
But like he can't make a free throw. He literally has gone down in free throw percentage year over year in the playoffs. They're saying him to line more than ever because they know that this is a problem for him. God. He's afraid to attack the rim. We saw the Trae Young moment. They literally just tanked this man's fucking life. I mean, one moment changed this man's life. If we're gonna do one of those like rewinds, like I fucking love that series. But if we're gonna rewind to one moment, it's Ben Simmons' life being ruined by Trae Young standing menacingly underneath the rim because Ben Simmons is afraid. And you can't put him in the playoffs, and that's what ruins his value. Like not only to like the 76ers, you're saying Joe can't win with Ben as his number 2. Yeah. We know it doesn't work. Yeah, but why would any other playoff team want him? Because he can't stay on the court when it fucking matters in the playoff.
I'll
game.
ask you, and before I ask you, Pat does say Blazers just fired the president. Who's making the big decisions of trading for Ben? I don't think that this trade gets done right away. Like the article that the Athletic put out, Dame is giving the team like time to find the guy to make the decisions. And then I expect by the trade deadline, maybe this gets done. Maybe. I don't even know for sure if it gets done. But like you bring up what team would want Ben Simmons? Why the hell then does Damian Lillard want to play with Ben Simmons? Is it something to where he's sick of CJ? Is it something to where it's like, well, you know what? You don't need to shoot. Just get me the damn ball. I'll shoot all the baskets. You don't need to shoot at all. You play defense. I play offense. I shoot. You pass. We can make this work.
Yeah, I mean, we know the CJ Dame thing capped out. Like 3 years ago, we knew what they were. They were two undersized guards who don't play defense. You can't have that and win a championship. You need some defense. Like Rocco is a great off-ball defender, but he's not that lockdown clamps one-on-one guy that they needed. So, they've made moves to try to address that. They added Nance. They added, Nurkic when healthy is a good, post guy, but like they just don't have enough defense on that team, and they don't have enough size because they're playing 3 guards next to each other. With Norman Powell out there too. It's just CJ's redundant and not necessary. I think that Dame and CJ are fucking buddies. I think there's no hatred, no anything there. They're good friends. But like,
I'm saying like,
it's not going anywhere. We all know it.
Yeah.
They can't win games because neither one plays fucking look at defense. It just comes down to like, Ben Simmons will help you during the regular season, and then you hope that you have bench depth to replace him for situations in the fourth quarter when you're trying to close out a game, because he can only be there for defensive situations because otherwise he will be hack a bend, and we will watch him choke at the foul line and potentially have another big problem. So it's like his value is pretty large because he is a defensive player of the year candidate. He's a great facilitator. He's got great size, great instincts on the defensive side, but I just don't know. You're probably 2 teams. It's the Blazers and the Kings are, the only 2 teams I think who are interested right now. Maybe the Hawks, but I think, and maybe the Nets, but I think Daryl Morey would rather shoot himself in the foot than trade Ben Simmons to the East.
Yeah.
The Kyrie talk had been thrown out there so many times. That ain't happening. And the Hawks thing, I don't think that either team is ready to quite pull the trigger on that. So it really does feel like it's down to the Kings and Portland Trail Blazers to get Ben Simmons this year, and I would be shocked if another team stepped in.
So my next question is basically, what's the package look like? Is it something to where there needs to be CJ and some players sent over, or is it as simple as, and I'll be completely honest, I usually don't like this website. Nothing against the writers of it, but NBA Analysis Network, I usually look at their trades and have a good laugh. But who doesn't make trades on the internet, and we don't laugh at them because nobody's an NBA GM. But they just have Trailblazers get Ben, Sixers get CJ, and a 2022 first. Now, the thing with the 2022 first, if Portland doesn't make the playoffs, then you can send that pick away because Portland keeps their pick. It's top 14 protected. If Portland trades for Ben, they then get into the playoffs. You can't trade, like, you don't have that pick. Then you can't trade the 2023 pick because of the Stepien rule. It would have to be a 2024 pick.
Yeah, it'll get bounced around. I think CJ in a first and maybe like so it's CJ a protected first because it has to be because of the situation with the Bulls and the rights. Well, the Bulls own the rights for this year, assuming the playoff situation. But then next year depends on that. So like, yeah, it's gonna be a far future. It feels like. I don't think that Pat brings up, Philly asking for Dame. They can ask for Dame all they fucking want. Morey will ask for the sun and the moon before he has to trade, away Ben Simmons for something less. It's just he's a good man. He'll flip every stone over before he has to do something. But the problem is at the end of the day, you need to do something for Joel Embiid because you don't know how many seasons of healthy Joel Embiid you will get in his prime. Like this kid's just incredibly prone to injury. He doesn't take enough good care of his body, and it shows with the amount of time he misses year in, year out. So I think that they have a sense of urgency around them to make a deal happen to compete in the playoffs this year, especially when it feels like there are so many teams in it. It's like I feel like they're extra motivated to get something done. So I feel like CJ in a first, and maybe like if they wanted a role player, they want Rocco. They're not getting Rocco.
Yeah.
So you have to move on from that. It's like, is there anybody else in that roster? I don't know, because you already run into fit issues with CJ playing next to Seth Curry. Like you already have that question. Like, does Max go to the bench? And you have CJ as your point, Seth Curry as your two. And hey, guess what? We're back to having no defense in the backcourt again. Like it's one of those problems where yes, it solves one problem. It gets Ben off the team, but does it make your team that much better?
But then at the same time, like, does this then create a ripple of like, hey, we're gonna get CJ from this trade. Yeah. We're gonna look for a Toby trade where we can get some defense at the wing or defense in the backcourt. Because like
that would be great.
He's another player that I don't think is on this team if the Sixers are winning a championship.
Yeah, I mean, Toby's a good player. Is he overpaid for his contract? Yes. Did they have to do it? Probably. But I think it's a situation of he is the best available fit right now, and they wouldn't hesitate in a moment to pull the trigger on a deal. We always touch on for the Sacramento deal, getting back like a Harrison Barnes along with Fox. So if you could, maybe 3-team deal it or something, because there's just a lot of contracts to be soaked up there. Like, I think that, they're always looking for upgrades at the wing. They got great bench role players, and I think they proved that during this last stretch. So they really just need to shore up that starting unit. And I think that Barnes could be attainable. Fox could be attainable. But I just don't know how much they're going to have to give up. It might be a CJ in, Seth Curry, Toby out kind of a situation. It's so many moving pieces, though. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough ask to coordinate all that. But if you could tell me you could get a lineup of like De'Aaron Fox, CJ McCollum, Harrison Barnes, insert random bench player, and Joel Embiid, that's a fantastic like top tier fucking lineup as far as starting lineups go. And as long as they don't get gutted too much on their bench unit, they have future picks to give out too. So like they have some capital to use.
So you know me. Yep. I've got some trades here from different sites.
Ricky, always got trades.
How do we grade these trades, Dave? The first one, this is interesting because it's not a Blazers trade. It was put up by Bleacher Report today.
Great.
Would you like to hear this 3-team trade?
Can't wait.
Which team would you like to hear first? The Sixers, the Grizzlies, or the Thunder?
I did not expect either of those two teams to be in. I mean, it makes sense, though. It makes sense. Let's hear what the Thunder get out of this.
The Thunder get Tyrese Maxey.
Great.
Steven Adams. Back. Steven Adams comes back to OKC. Zaire Williams.
Okay.
And then a 2022, a 2024, and a 2026 first-round pick. So three firsts. It just says first-round pick.
Okay.
It does not say from team.
Interesting.
The Grizzlies receive Ben Simmons.
Right.
And then the Sixers get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dylan Brooks. I mean, I get then why you're trading Maxey because you're swapping Shea for Maxey.
Right.
You're getting Dylan Brooks. Like, does that fix that defensive problem that the whole like CJ thing would cause?
That actually, okay. On paper, I'm not saying I would take any of those deals if I were any of those teams, but on paper, that would mean the Grizzlies have a second elite passer. I mean, Tyus Jones has been playing great while Ja's out. So, like, they have a second elite passer to go with John Morant. Their starting lineup, because of Bane and Melton, they can, Melton flex back to the bench.
Yeah.
They still have pretty good spacing.
Ben doesn't
I do have some questions.
There's so many shooters.
I do have questions, though, because do you expect Ben Simmons to play like center, or is this Jaren Jackson Jr. sliding more to a traditional center role?
I think that would make sense.
That's great for like 24 minutes a game till he fouls out, but what do you do for the rest of the game? It'll be an interesting potential upgrade. I won't say it's bad. I think it's a potential upgrade for them.
Yeah.
I think it unlocks some things, but it raises more questions. The Sixers, we get Dylan Brooks and we get Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's a fucking celebration. Yeah. They throw a goddamn party in the streets for Daryl Morey. Jake is out there trying to just worship this man.
Jake is streaking, old school style.
Yeah, he's gonna streak and he's gonna build a statue in front of the fucking arena. And the thing with the Thunder is just
I love the
you
Thunder
just say
part.
You get young players and you get picks, and you just shrug and say, well, that's what they always do. I mean,
I'll be honest.
I don't think any of those players have the same upside potential as Shea.
I would love to see a backcourt just on the court at one time.
Yeah,
Tyrese and Giddey at one time with Lou Dort at the 3. Like
this whole thing just like the Thunder just get fucked. They don't. What do they need more picks for?
They don't go
have
forward.
Fucking 40 picks in the next 4 years.
Then
probably
they can trade for a star, man. They got all this ammo. They got
just
Steven Adams. Dude,
no.
Presty just wants picks. Would you like the next one?
Yeah, sure. Throw it at me.
Which team would you like first? The Sixers, the Hornets, or the Pacers?
I know this trade already. I feel like
Do
I know
you?
it. Yeah, let's say the Hornets.
The Hornets get Miles Turner.
Yep, that sounds right.
The Pacers get Tobias Harris, Richard Nix, or that should be Nick Richards, not Richard.
Yeah, that's Nick Richards.
And then a 2023 lottery protected first round pick via Charlotte. And then the Sixers get Rozier and TJ Warren. These next 3 are Toby trades, by the way.
That doesn't feel great. That doesn't sit right.
As a Sixer, I don't know if I want Terry or TJ Warren. That doesn't fix my defense. Like, it's great offense next to
TJ Warren. Who cares?
Yeah, but
he doesn't even exist.
Rozier's. I'm not thinking defense when I think of Rozier.
Terry's a great player. He's a very good player, but he's not a point guard. And you already have Seth Curry and you have Maxey, who both play shooting guard. So I'm not sure what really you're trying to do there.
This next one confuses me. Would you like the Sixers, the Mavericks, or the Thunder, Dave?
Mavericks.
The Mavericks get Toby and George Hill.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
The Sixers get Kemba Walker, a Dwight Powell. That Kemba can't be in there anymore. So basically they get Dwight Powell then in at first, added something else. The Thunder get Kristaps Porzingis.
What year is this from? This is from last. This
is from a couple months ago. Now
okay, yeah, I was
so
like,
that's a me thing. And then the last one is just straight up with the Cavs. Just like they get K Love, they get now an injured Colin Sexton. Like, do you still do that with the injury? And then Toby and Shake go over to Cleveland. The reason why I brought up these Toby ones is I don't know what trade partner they want with Toby, or what team wants Tobias Harris. Does he help a team?
I mean, he's a good player, but he's being paid too much money. Yeah. So you need to find a team who can eat that money and has something that you want back, a better value than Toby, which is going to be hard to find. I don't know, man. That's the part that is a problem. That's why everybody just points at Sacramento, or Houston's a team that has assets that are available. because who wouldn't want Christian Wood? That's my thought. Bring him back. Bring back the process legend Christian Wood. If they get Christian Wood and Jayshawn Tate to the Sixers for like Toby and 2 firsts, which I know sounds like an overpay to a lot of people, but it's not. It might be Toby and like 1 first. That's a great deal for the Sixers. I would take that in a heartbeat if I were the Sixers.
See, personally, I don't want a deal done with the Kings. Only because I'm selfish, because like this kind of goes away from the Sixers a little bit. But like other teams, like because other teams are going to make moves. We're going to see trades at the trade deadline. Totally. And in the Discord, there was a 3-team trade put in. Bulls were a part of it. And in the trade, the Bulls got Jeremy Grant. And there was, maybe I'm on the outside, I'm on the wrong side. I was just like, Jeremy Grant doesn't sell me as like a, yes, now we're over the hump. We can compete this year. Like, yet again, Jake in the Discord was like, well, who would you want? And like, I look and I go, Harrison Barnes would be nice. Like, can play some defense, can shoot the ball.
They're not.
He's playing
Harrison Barnes
well,
Harrison Barnes and Grant aren't that dissimilar. Barnes is someone who is he knows his role on a team. He'll find his niche and fill that block for you perfectly. Grant is someone who wanted to grow his role bigger and took that opportunity. Would he be okay with sliding back into, an elevated, a starting role, but not the focus or the second focus of an offense? I don't know. That's an ego thing for him.
I also feel like the price would be less for a Harrison Barnes than a Jeremy Grant. Like, absolutely. That's just something with me of like, I don't want the Sixers to get a deal done with the Kings because I secretly want the Bulls to try to trade for Harrison Barnes if the Kings even decide to become sellers. I know they fired Luke Walton. That's the first step. But like, are they going to go into the whole the youth movement of like, okay, we're going in full on?
I mean, it depends on a lot of things. I don't think that they are quite ready to make that decision. I think they got time until the deadline. I feel like they're a team that's going to make deadline moves happen because
we got 2 months till the deadline.
They got a lot of juicy pieces out there, and there's some definite interest across the league in Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes, De'Aaron Fox. All 3 of those players likely candidates for trades. Marvin Bagley is someone who there's quiet interest around the league around this guy. They think that there's definitely something to him still, and I think that maybe we get him for a good deal. But yeah, I think that just the Kings in general, I don't know if rebuild. They're still fairly ready for they're one piece away basically. They just feel one piece away.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield, obviously, I forgot. Gotta take one of the top 5 shooters in the NBA.
Even exists half the time.
Yeah,
because he's coming off the bench for him.
He's great though. He's great. He's great shooter. Great outside scorer. So it just feels like they're ready to be picked apart. But no, I just feel like this whole thing is just so bent around Morey and being able to find an answer this year. And it's just like he's got till the end of the year. Or I should say he's got till the trade deadline. If they don't make a move at the deadline and they go into the postseason with Ben Simmons not playing basketball, how bad is that for Philly, Ricky?
Could I throw out a wild card?
Sure.
What if?
You say the words Kyrie Irving. I'm just going to disconnect.
No.
Okay.
No.
There's not a bigger wild card in the NBA than Kyrie. Sorry.
Ben Simmons is not getting traded to the East. I believe that.
I agree. Yeah.
What if the Warriors came a calling? You don't need Ben Simmons to shoot. They've got great leadership on that team. Hey, we just need you to facilitate and play defense. Steph and Ben Simmons playing defense at the 2 and the 3 with, Clay and Ben playing defense. Steph out there also. Like, Steph and Clay can shoot. Hey, you just need to find our shooters and play defense. Like, that's all you have to do. Our team will do the rest. Like, I feel like that could be something of, like, it's not going to happen. But, like, I'm trying to find is it just Blazers Kings?
I wouldn't trade Andrew Wiggins for Ben Simmons 1-for-1.
See, and that's the thing. Does Wiggins have to be in the deal? Is it basically like a mood, like
money-wise? I think it's Wiggins or it's Looney and multiple guys off the bench, which they can't really afford to do because their bench is fucking stacked.
Their depth.
So no, and it's just it ain't a situation where he can as King you said, Dre and Ben on the same team. That won't work. You got mental toughness versus mental weakness. You got two guys who can't shoot
but
the
maybe
ball.
Draymond kicks him into shape, man. Maybe Dre is the guy that Ben needs.
But you can't have two non-shooters on the court.
That's why Draymond takes a bench role. And Draymond is a leader of this team. He would be okay with that.
He'd be okay with that if it made the team better. It doesn't.
I mean, hey, that's the thing. If Dre believed it made the team better, Draymond Green would be okay taking a bench role. I believe that.
I agree. If he thought they'd get better, he would do it. Mm-hmm. But adding Ben Simmons for Andrew Wiggins doesn't make the team better. Sorry, it doesn't. Well, and that's hilarious to me as someone who has been. I mean, like anyone who enjoys basketball for the last 5 years knows how much Andrew Wiggins has gotten shit. Now at this point, like I made it a very strong point when the D'Lo trade happened. I was like, Wiggins is fucking popping. Like this is Andrew Wiggins' time.
I guess it's like I'm just trying to find in my brain of like you say, oh, it's Blazers and Kings, and I was like, is there any other team? Like, is this a situation where we think, oh, it's going to be Blazers, it's going to be Blazers, oh, it's going to get a CJ, and then basically trade deadline, day before the deadline, a deal gets done. It's like, the fuck, that team got Ben? Let's
go through real quick then. Mm-hmm. Houston's eliminated.
Yeah.
Because Daryl Morey. That's the real quick and dirty answer. Daryl Morey ruined that relationship. Yep. Their owner's a horrible human being, so no one really cares one way or the other on that side, which is unfortunate because Houston has a ton of guys you would love to have on a championship caliber roster. Dallas doesn't have a quite great fit for him. Memphis assets, yes, but would they pull the trigger? Oh, maybe. The Pelicans, they would suck a dick right now to get fucking BI in that locker room for Ben Simmons. Are you kidding me? 1 for 2. Come on, like make that deal happen. I don't know. The Pels, I think, is a team where, again, you can't have two non-shooters between Ben and Zion. Is Zion's fat ass ever going to play basketball again, though? We don't know. So that's a big question mark.
We don't know.
San Antonio and Pop, DeJounte Murray, and another piece would be great for them. But that against the Sixers fans' own words, they wouldn't want a role player and a bunch of small pieces. They need something bigger. So no, Clippers ain't doing a deal with them. Lakers, do you want Russell Westbrook? That's probably that's probably the option. The Suns, no. The Kings we already talked about. The Jazz, they aren't fucking with success. They've got a stacked roster. The Portland Trailblazers we talked about. Thunder will give you whatever you want. That's fine. T-Wolves, we've heard their offers. They seem to be doing well, and I think that's a problem for Daryl Morey. The T-Wolves' success is a problem for Daryl Morey, and that's something that no one's really mentioned this whole way because everybody's like, oh, they're gonna milk them for like 3 things, and they're gonna come out of this looking great, and then it's like, hey, you guys aren't getting shit from them.
Yeah.
They're lowballing you. They're like, you can have Beasley and something. Probably we can find Cup firsts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, that's no deal. So that's the entire, and then the Nuggets, who have their best player is Jokic as the MVP. Second best player is injured. Their third best player is injured. What do you do? You're gonna trade for Jamal Murray in hopes that no, they would never trade fucking Jamal Murray for Ben Simmons. No. So that's the entire West. We just covered the entire Western Conference in a minute.
And like the East, I feel like the only way I'm trading him to the East is if it's like, okay, after this year, he's got 3 years left on his deal. Which team can I trade him to? Get things that'll help me, but this team won't be competing in 3 years. Like, that's how I'm trading him to the East. It's like, okay, Ben Simmons, go waste 3 years of your career with this team who's not going to build around you.
But he's already in his prime. You forget Ben Simmons is 25, going to be turning 26 by the next offseason. So, quick shout out to One Chains, BB Mute Man for getting a chance to watch us.
Love chat. One Chains, I believe.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, is One Chains? I'm blanking on the name. Is that Chainsaw? No, Chainsaw has Chainsaw in his name. Never mind. I'm mixing it up.
I would say out of the East. Like you said, more would prefer to have him waste away because he's vindictive, and we all know that.
Well, not just that. Like, I don't want you competing against
me. Yeah, that's why he's not going to the Nets. The Celtics would laugh him out of the building for anything involving one of the Jays. The Knicks are the team that's
I thought about the Knicks, but does Ben make the Knicks actually good?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of, yeah. That's the only one that kind of makes sense. But it's like, what assets would they be willing to give up? They've got young talent. They've got guys on interesting contracts. But would Philly want any of them? They don't have like that pure answer, like RJ Barrett and something for Ben Simmons. If you were in New York, would you do that? I don't know. Is Ben Simmons in a good mental state to go play games in New York with those fans? I don't know. And that media, I don't know that answer. Like those couple unknowns, but that's a team that genuinely you could look at as, well, they're a competitive team. I don't know that necessarily that could be it on paper sounds like a lose-lose trade, which usually means it's a win-win trade. Like it's a fair trade when everybody thinks they lose. That's usually a fair trade. You know, that's a good way to gauge the public reaction out of that one. So I think that one is very interesting. He brings defense. He brings a point guard mentality, which is something they don't have on that roster. You know, they moved on from Kemba. Alec Burks is a great two guard, but he's not really a true point. Derrick Rose has been their best player all year, and it's fucking sad. I love the man, but it's sad. So the New York Knicks are a legit option. I think you're maybe on something there, Ricky.
So I have one that is just like it can't be done for like a week because of the recently signed. But,
right, but we got the 15th. We talked about that. Yeah.
So
Jake's
this
mentioned
is
it like 45 fucking times. I swear, if he mentions it again, I will slap the kid.
This is complete fan service for Jake. The Pacers get Ben Simmons. Obviously, Domantas Sabonis is in this deal, unless you want like a Brogdon. And then O'Shea Brissett, ex-Syracuse guy that Jake would love, and then TJ, come on home, come on back to Philly, TJ. We want you. We want you back.
Honestly,
ring the bell.
I think that the Sixers would have to give up more. I think Sabonis is more
okay.
Sabonis is very good. I think Sabonis value is on par with, if not, situationally.
The thing I was thinking about is, and yet again, you're more the X's and O's guys than I am.
How's it going to work?
Can DeMontis and Joel fit next to each other? Or does DeMontis, he's not as much of a stretch as you would like next to Joe, or Joe can stretch out because he can shoot a three, but he's not a three-point shooter?
Neither one of these guys are a sharpshooter from three. But this is one of those situations where
Joe
you go, talent wins
from
out.
three. He'll be like, hey, Ben, this is how you do it.
They'll both shoot it. They'll both shoot it. That's a cool thing. This is one of those situations where you just say talent will win out, because how do you fucking compete against that mismatch?
Yeah.
What team can compete against having two bigs with the absolute fucking skill sets of Sabonis and Joe? That is insanity. Now, how do they compete with transition teams who play very fast? Like, that would be great, because we're Bulls fans. Let's just duh.
Duh.
So like, we are in a Bulls Sixers matchup, which I predicted to start this year. Bulls being the higher seed because we're the better team.
Kings of the fourth, baby.
I think that would be very interesting. Like, they'd have two legit bigs, and we couldn't stop them both, but we would run all day on them. And we are captive on. We're absolutely active hands, great on turnovers, and we are a lethal transition team. So, like, I think matchup-wise, the only team that could maybe compete with them are the Cavs, who the fuck had the Cavs competing for playoffs this late in the season? I say this late. We're a quarter of the way in the season, people, and the Cavs are a playoff team.
So there is one thing about this. TJ McConnell cannot be traded until March 3rd because he re-signed using bird rights with a 20% raise in salary. And the Pacers are over the cap.
Is that still before the deadline?
Yeah, the deadline's February 10th.
So that's after the deadline.
Yeah.
So he could not be traded this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how that
I was
would
like,
work. So TJ would be out. I added in Furk and Korkmaz because you were like, they had to go something. He's in the same boat as TJ McConnell. So it's basically like, okay, find your other pieces. Like, find your fighters, basically, if you're these two teams. Because, like, if I'm the Sixers, are the Pacers really going to compete with Rick Carlisle? Does Ben help them that much?
The Pacers are the kings of the East. The Pacers are pieces waiting to be picked off the bone. That is what they are right now. They are a terrible finishing team. They have one of the worst fourth quarters historically every game. Like their average for the fourth quarter, they blow the most leads. They lose the most games by 5 or less points. They are fucking putrid in closing time. You know what doesn't help that? Ben Simmons.
Also, Dave, I see what you put in chat. Fast break's not over. You're listening to the fast break, baby. This is the fast break.
Ish. It's an ish.
It's the new. It's not like I don't want to say new and improved.
Look, King of Clash, we ain't going anywhere. As long as you're willing to listen,
Sean.
we'll be here.
It's a slap in the face to Sean to say new and improved. It's the new. It's the new version. Just
You've gotten better since Sean's. No.
We've got what, addition by subtraction? Is that what we're dealing with?
I think that in the year that we've gone without Sean,
we filled
both honed our craft.
We filled him with his baby brother for a little bit.
Yeah. His twin, yeah.
Baby brother, and then, it's back to just us. This is the original, though, Dave. This is how it all started.
You want to talk about some Sacramento Kings and DeMarcus Cousins?
Sure, go ahead. I was going to... The only thing I was going to bring up is, one chain said, Orlando, question mark?
Orlando's intriguing. They too have pieces. I think Mo Bamba's not a given to re-sign there long-term. Great song. Now he, as a player, is matching that level. He's getting there, Their best player by far and away is Franz Wagner. Didn't think I'd say that right now.
They're not. They'd never trade Franz, right?
Franz is locked in. He's unfucking touchable. Like, I think their core right now is Cole Anthony. I think Fultz is available, but obviously we want to see how he comes back.
So what you're saying is if you're getting Ben, Jalen Suggs is on the table?
I would put Suggs on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, he's a top 5 pick. He can pick 5th. I don't.
Terrence Ross has to be in that deal. You got to get the supernova of offense.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do. So, I think Orlando actually is a great call out. I think that's a good call out. One chains. Orlando is a team they've rebuilt their brand a little bit. They got a bunch of injury prone players who are all coming back. Hopefully in the next, I believe it's month and a half. We're looking at Fultz and Isaac both coming back. By the end of January, which would be awesome because I fucking love that young team. And when you add in some of those guys with a little bit of experience, add in a true point guard to play next time, they'd be fun. It'd be a very fun team to watch. So I think that Ben Simmons could be a great addition to that team. And I know that not the same front offices anymore, but they have done a deal before between teams. So you got a little bit of little pedigree, little working relationship going there. So I think that one actually, if you're going to the East, you're going to a team that might not compete this year.
At the bottom.
But next year they could be ready.
Yeah.
It's not them or the fucking Pistons,
But you said you wanted to talk to DeMarcus Cousins, though?
I was joking because that was one of our first videos was DeMarcus Cousins, but he is great.
I thought you were going to talk about you want to talk about LaMarcus Aldridge? LaMarcus Aldridge, too?
LaMarcus Aldridge was, early, too.
That was the first one. Or we talked about Melo early on. That was when Melo was still relevant.
Who knew Aldridge would still be playing?
Yeah.
Who knew that DeMarcus Cousins would be on the current NBA championship roster? A team that's only gotten better. Brook Lopez now out for the rest of the regular season, likely. We'll have to wait and see on that situation, but it looks good. It's looking like Dante DiVincenzo's hit the G League. They did sign Wes Matt, so we'll see if he is. Dante might be trade bait out there pretty soon as he returns to health. But that team. Championship roster got better because Boogie Cousins. Never thought I'd say that out loud.
Dave, it's time. Bing bong, rookie time. So we've gone for a while. We'll talk a little bit about the rookies. Mine is pretty much I have more movement than last week.
Yeah.
But yet again, it's still kind of chalk. Do I have 1, 2, 3?
Okay, I've got my 7. I actually have my 7 this week.
I've got 7.
Okay. Are yours in order this week?
Yes, they're in order. I have them written down.
Okay.
Do you want to go first or should I go first?
Let's have you go first.
LP finally cracks in. I got to give him respect. He's playing well. He's playing well. The Rockets are winning. Not thanks to that bum JG4. It's all because of LP out there talking to the basketball, being the basketball whisperer at the line.
You mean it's all Garrison Matthews out there?
Oh, I love. By the way, betting Garrison Matthews over 2.5 threes has really paid off.
It's free money.
Him and Gabe Vincent, put them in a parlay and watch it work.
Hottest team in basketball right now, the Rockets.
Not the fourth.
Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? Hang on. I'll match you. LP.
Okay. LP dropped a little bit. I think you had him at 3 or 4 last week.
I might have dropped him down a little bit. Look, it is a very competitive rookie ranking. Yeah. I'll be honest, it is very tight at the top.
I'll ask you this: because Mobley is probably our number one still.
It is.
Like, is he running away with Rookie of the Year? Like, is it basically Mobley and then the rest? Like, Mobley's just running away with the Rookie of the Year award?
I don't think he's running away with it. I think he had the best start, and the fact that the Cavs are winning games. Mm-hmm. It's the combination of success and being so damn impressive on the court.
I mean, what, right now they're only down 2 to the defending champion Bucks?
Is everyone playing for the Bucks, though?
Yeah, I mean,
you always have to ask that question.
Good point. I gotta see if Giannis might not have played. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Giannis! I believe.
Happy birthday, Giannis!
I believe.
But at the bottom of my list, I gotta throw some respect out here for some fucking defense. Because you know what? You don't get paid for defense. We're going Herb Jones.
Oh, good fucking call. Oh, I should. He's been playing fucking amazing defense. Oh man, that is
Herb Jones.
He would be 8th. He would be 8th on my list. Fuck.
He's very, very, very good wing defender. Playing for an absolutely dog shit team in the Pelicans, but he is never not working. He's a massive hustle player, huge effort guy, and he's a smart player. His only weakness is he's not a great shooter, but he does know that. So he doesn't take bad shots, which is really nice. It's a player who knows his limitations, and you can really flex around that and get the most out of him. So Herb Jones, big shout out, making the list. Fantastic effort guy, and awesome defense.
I would say the next one on my list, he dropped 1 because, you know me, hype boy Ricky. Somebody else moved up because they had a phenomenal game. 1 game, Ricky. Josh Giddey, he's at 6. He moves down from 5, moves to 6. Jay Giddey, baby. Jay Gidd. I would say the Australian phenom, but that's LaMelo Ball.
Oh, okay. I see. Now, for me, I'll openly say I did not have Giddey on my list this week. He is not playing basketball. The last we saw of him...
He's playing today.
But in the last week. These are weekly rankings, so he hasn't played in the last week, so I'm not going to put him on my list because where he left off at for me, meh. Meh. You know? Meh. I'm put Chris Duarte.
Okay. Duarte is someone I will admit I have disrespected by not having on my list.
Yeah, what is up with that? Like, all he does is play good offense. He shoots well.
Basically,
he plays decent defense.
I had that 7th spot, Dave. I just wanted to give love to LP for once.
I will never hate you for that.
I never give
so
love
let's
to
move
LP.
on because you're right. LP is so fucking good. Respect LP. This man is getting slapped down by the entire NBA and Silas, and as soon as he gets unleashed, woo! He's a weapon, man. He is a weapon. He's putting up numbers. They have only been matched.
Yeah.
By the current MVP. I'm just saying. If you take his, I know it's small sample size because he's only playing like 18 minutes a game, but his numbers are on track for those of the Jonas Nikola Jokic. I want to say I don't know why.
I thought you were saying Jonas Valanciunas. I was like, wait, what?
And I was like, he's not the MVP. That's Nikola Jokic, you idiot. But yeah, no, he's putting up numbers on scale
Serbian
with
mafia,
that.
Dave.
Don't fuck with him.
He'll have Hashbula out there fighting for him.
Yeah, where's Morris at? Ask him how it worked out. He still ain't playing basketball games.
No, he's not. I would assume
nobody cares. Io.
Yeah.
Great call.
I mean, against Brooklyn, he had a block. He had a great game. Like, you know me, Dave. I'll hype out for anyone, especially my boy Io, who got the start tonight, and from everything I heard, was announced from Chicago, Illinois. Oh, man, I wish I would have been there. If I knew he was starting today, I'd be going, Dave. We would have went. We would have been there. We'd be in the stands right now with my phone going, all right, guys, so we're talking Ben Simmons. Ooh, there's a Bulls game going on.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just we would got to take that so quickly. No, I mean, look, Io's played great. He's a huge hustle guy. Again, he can hit some shots. His role has been growing on the Chicago Bulls. He was I want to say he was an energy guy, and not to mean that insultingly, but like you could tell when he hit the court, like this man was fucking working out there trying to prove he deserved more and more minutes. He attacks the rim, which is awesome. The kid's fearless out there. interesting comment on him. People are talking about our future, and it always seems like it's Io versus Kobe White, and we will probably talk about that one day. I don't personally feel like it's direct competition. I think Io's got a great frame. We've seen him add on muscle in college. I think he can keep adding on size, and he'll be fine to defend the three. I think there's no problem with him being a wing in the NBA. So I'm excited to see Io on your list. I think he absolutely deserves it.
You know he's always going to be on my list.
Yeah,
You know
that's
it.
fair.
Like unless he completely drops off, he's going to be on my list.
Yep.
And by the way, before you give yours, is chat. I know we have it set up to where like only we can send links. There's the Sean Anderson goodbye video. I will link it in chat because someone tried to link it and they couldn't, so I wanted to let chat know. I'm doing that now.
That's fair. Thank you. For me, I'm jumping up because I have LP here.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty Barnes. He's just playing great defense. The Rockets are continually surprising me with how good they are. I think that his role on the team still needs to be better defined, but they're kind of letting him play.
Mm-hmm.
Just, let him play, kind of figure it out on the flow. Having C-Scan back it's a net positive, but how long will it work for him and Scotty on the court together? We've seen how already we're seeing some minutes shifting a little bit. I'll be curious to see going forward what they decide to do. Pascal's another name out there who could be available.
Mm-hmm.
Probably they don't want Ben Simmons, though, I'll be honest. Like that just doesn't seem like their jam because Scotty Barnes is playing out of his fucking mind as a kid out there.
Guess what, Dave?
What's up?
Scotty Barnes. He moves
Scotty
down,
Barnes.
He moves down from 2-4 in mine also. We are on the same page. Like, it's just like, also, it's just like, I mentioned to you, I'm like, oh, has he been playing worse? You're like, oh, he's been playing good. And then I looked, I was like, yeah, the other two I had behind him, though, are playing better. They're just playing better.
We have 3 slots left, and we know the top one is Mobley, which means there's 2 guys left, Ricky. Which order did he put them?
Which order did you put them in? Because I think we might be on different pages. We're on the same fucking page, Dave. We are fucking Nostradamus in the top 4. Franz Wagner and Cade Cunningham. Let's go. Wagner, you got to give the respect to Vog Daddy. The composer out there doing work. Let's see if this link works. Hell yeah, there you go, chat. There you go, chat. There you go. There's the video. I got you, son. I got you.
So, let's talk about how we got here. Franz Wagner's the best player on the Orlando Magic, so he's better than Cade Cunningham. Franz Wagner can do everything and plays defense. Mm-hmm. Offensively, every fucking thing you ask for, he can do it. He's your point guard, your shooting guard, he's your wing. He can also rim protect, as it turns out. This man has goddamn length, he has speed, he has athleticism, and he has an incredible basketball mind. Mm-hmm. He is the complete fucking package as a child in the NBA. It's so cool to watch him play.
As a child in the NBA.
I don't know. I think it's still racism in the NBA where he got slept under in the draft process because he's a white prospect. The fact that his brother sucked at basketball didn't help him. Let's be honest. If Mo Wagner had played better, I think that people would be higher expectations for Franz.
They're two different
people. And Mo has gotten better by playing with Franz. Mm-hmm. And they even talk about it. They've got a great podcast. It's super fun to listen to. I think that they are just waiting for the pieces to get back to kind of shake down this core a little bit. We'll see who loosens up once we have Isaac and Fultz back in there full time. I do expect their lineup to kind of look like Fultz, Cole Anthony, Wagner, Isaac, and then a Bamba with Wendell off the bench, Jalen Suggs, Chumo Keke, RJ Hampton, and if he's still there, the supernova of offense, Terrence Ross.
I look back at my mocks and like where I had Franz Wagner going, like the 3.0. This was the first to the last one. I had him go. Could you imagine if he was in the Pelicans right now? Probably not a good situation.
Son of a bitch. Where's
the
Pelicans pick at?
That was at 10.
No, I'm saying like where's their player they took?
Oh,
because he's on the bench. Well, Herb Jones, number 7 on our fucking board. Minutes. Trey Trey Murphy's getting fucking like 8 minutes a night, 10 minutes a night.
Yeah.
I don't know, something. I need to follow up more close with that fan base to see why and if they're okay with the minutes he's getting, because it feels like it's weird there that Herb Jones gets these minutes as a guy who did not get picked in the lottery. But Trey Murphy.
The last team I had him to, though, in my very last mock draft, the Kings. I mean, yet again, kind of leads into what YouTube chat says. How do you guys feel about Davion playing for the Kings? Like, Davion is doing what I thought Franz Wagner would do for them. Play defense. That's the whole reason why, like, at the time, I was like, Franz Wagner, 3-and-D, add some defense to this team. You don't really need the offense.
He's so much more than a 3-and-D player. He's so much more than a 3-and-D player, though.
But, like, that was, like, the prototype, like, that we were thinking, where it's like, I just looked at him and I was like, I love his defensive upside. Yeah. And, like, that's why I thought, like, this Kings team needed him. And when the Magic
off night's probably somewhere around, he's obviously not top 7 for me. He's probably around 9th, if I'm being brutally honest.
Obviously, his name's not written down.
Yeah. I probably have JG4 at 8th. I have probably him at 9, and I've got I guess Suggs at 10. I guess Suggs at 10.
Suggs fell out of mine.
He's struggling so fucking much. Now he's out. Like, no, I think Davion is inconsistent offensively, which is exactly what I expected. If you look at the last 2 games, I think he had 20 points and really good shooting split, and then he literally fucking offered the next night out. Like, he's opportunistic defensively. He is so aggressive on ball defensively. I think he is absolutely worth every minute he gets. Yeah. But it's exposing the Kings a little bit because, you know, their franchise, point guard De'Aaron Fox is kind of getting pushed out, it would feel like, on paper. And I don't know, that's me feeling. I don't know if that's a you feeling, Ricky, but I mean, it does feel like he's perhaps the odd man.
I don't know what the Kings are going to do. I honestly don't know. They fired Luke Walton. Now it's like, are they going to go full on into the youth movement? Are they going to build around De'Aaron Fox? I still don't fucking know with this team.
We'll have to wait and see. I just like Davion's a fun player, but his offense is so hit or miss that you need to have steady shooters around him to get through that vibe. And I think he's young, so you let him play. The Kings aren't a playoff team right now. Not sure, like Ricky said, if they're trying to be one. So like giving him heavy minutes and letting him shoot himself through slumps in those situations might be fine versus the like short string yank him when he gets a little shot happy out there and starts chucking. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. The other guy we did not talk about, Cade Cunningham, number 3 on our boards.
He's playing He's playing a lot better than he did when, basically when he came into the league, like started playing, because he didn't play right away. And like, I don't like yet again, like with Cade, I'm seeing he doesn't need to score the ball to be effective.
But man, when he is hot,
he's super.
You want the ball in his hands. I think he's a worse passer than I thought he was. He might get assists, but he is very turnover prone. And I don't know if that's on him or his teammates. And that's one of the things where I'm like, Detroit, I don't want to talk that much shit about you.
Yeah.
But if your team wasn't dog shit and missed every shot, he'd have more assists, and then assist to turnover ratio wouldn't look terrible on paper. I know we watched games with Soapy, who is a massive fanboy for the Pistons and hates his life because of it.
His problem is, like, I hear him talk about games, and I just go, man, that's how I felt about Jim Boylan. He just talks about how he hates the coaching staff and wants them fired, mainly Dwayne Casey. And I was like, man, that sounds like me when I was watching the Jim Boylan Bulls.
It feels like Casey's kind of escaped all accountability up there because of, they're like, oh, well, we'll just give away Blake. We'll do this. We'll do that. And hey, we've got a young team now. Now there's no expectations to win games. Yeah. At some point, his shit's not working. And we're going to have to wait and see how and if he has a leash on him, because I feel like that boy needs to get gone. I think he's a good assistant coach. I don't think he's a head coach, really. I think he was propped up in Toronto at the end there, obviously, by Nick Nurse, who is now head coach, very successful.
I mean, showing now, like, he was carried by DeMar. DeMar was the reason why he was so successful.
And Kyle
Lowry.
And Nick Nurse.
Can't give
I say that the man who won championship was Kyle Lowry, if you do recall. DeMar had to
Kawhi Leonard was the one who won a championship.
It's true. Bounce, and something like that.
Don't forget about Pascal Siakam.
C-scam out there. But no, I mean, I agree. Dwayne Casey is the odd man out as far as the coaching staff goes, and he's holding this man back. But Cade Cunningham's so fucking good. Like, look, Mobley, Franz, Cade, and Scotty. This is your rookie of the year race, and I think right now there's a reason why you can believe all four of these guys can win it. It's very hard for some. Cade will have to do it on raw stats. Scotty Barnes, if the Raptors upset teams and make it in the playoffs, I think that would do a lot for his case. Franz Wagner is literally fucking carrying a team on his back right now, so if he continues to do so for like a month straight, that would show a fucking lot. And then Mobley, I mean, just be incredible. Continue to be you know?
And that's like the one thing that I don't know if this is normal. It wasn't for the NFL side of things, but like the thing I find interesting about this draft class is on the betting side of things.
Yes.
Like FanDuel all year have not had Rookie of the Year odds up.
Really?
Have not been able to bet on Rookie of the Year. I don't know if that's a FanDuel thing. I don't know if that's this race is so tight that like sports books in general don't have it because they don't want to lose money on this. Like I've been interested that it's like, oh, I can't bet on Rookie of the Year, but I can bet on improved player and MVP and defensive player and six man.
That does seem like bullshit. Yeah,
it does because I wanted to put a bet early in on some people, and it's like, well, great, now I can't.
Oh, glad I didn't put money on Josh Green.
Oh, yeah, man, Josh Green is gonna be Rookie of the Year. Don't you know?
Wait, Josh Green. Why did I say Josh Green? It's in my brain.
Josh Giddey.
JG4. Jesus Christ.
JG4. He was probably
I was like,
the leader.
No, I'll be honest. The only reason Josh Green's in my head, there was a comment after the putrid game. Memphis versus the Mavs. There's a comment from Desmond Bain.
Yeah.
Who grew up in Texas, went to TCU, went to work out with the Mavs. Great workout. Loved it. Loved to stay local. All the things you want to hear. Desmond Bain. We're talking about the guy taken right at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
Right at the very end of the first round.
Right, and
he made a comment like, and they took Josh Green, who I don't think he even played tonight. And it was just like a fuck. Like Josh Green catching strays out here. Like he's talking shit about the Mavs, and Josh Green's just sitting there minding his own business, just catching a stray. Like, woo! Didn't even mean to. But yeah, no, that's why Josh Green just that comment really just I loved it because it was like Desmond Bain is a baller. So you just respect him.
When you said it, I thought in my head, I was like, wasn't he 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I was like, he's Arizona like 2 years ago.
JG4. He doesn't have a name. It's three. Yep.
And it's soapy. We'll bash him for every win the Rockets get while he's not on the.
They are winning all these games without him as he got hurt a quarter into a game against the Bulls where he had 11 points in a quarter, his best quarter of his entire NBA career.
He used up all his talent, man. He's done.
And he got hurt. It's a bummer.
Man. He used up all his talent in that one quarter.
Good luck, Rockets.
Basically, space jammed him. The old one, not the new one. But that is going to do it for the fast break tonight. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Thank you to everybody who is commenting in YouTube. I almost said Twitch chat, but I caught myself. YouTube chat tonight. Yep. Let us know what you obviously think. Hit that sub button, like button, notification bell. Become a patron. Become a channel member. Join the Discord. Link down below. Discord is free. Thank you guys for just everything that you guys do. Dave and I will be back talking more basketball next Monday night. Thank you for everything. Let's watch the rest of these games as some of them have flipped from when we started recording. But thank you guys for everything. And have a good day, everybody.